Hello and welcome to April's edition of the story behind the photo for the Staffordshire Moorlands calendar 2025. And I'm not where the photo's taken just yet. Spin round. I'm actually just set out on a walk. So the photo's taken on the Caldon Canal, and I'm just heading down a little track from Ladridge that drops down onto Staffordshire, and then from there I'll join the canal and stroll out to where the photo was taken, and I'll take you guys along for the stroll. So just past Tunnel to Pool, and now on the canal proper, and it's just bird song, it's brilliant. This is the Leek arm of the Caldon Canal. Once upon a time it ran to a nice basin where the industrial estate is now in Leek. Now it's just a very pleasant little offshoot of the main Caldon Canal. It's very pretty. I am slightly biased as it's right on my doorstep, but I have heard other boaters say it's probably as pretty as the Peak Forest, which is supposed to be the nicest canal in the country. So I'm quite pleased with that. It's a bit busy this morning. It always is along here though. Dog walkers and runners mostly. So Tunnel Pool is just down there where that boat is, and that's the last turning point for large boats. You can turn some smaller ones a little bit further along the canal, but not much further. So Tunnel Pool is probably the place most boaters get to. And we're coming up on one of my favourite spots on the canal. Here's this wide bend here. It always seems to attract the light. I don't know if it's because we've come along there and it's a bit dull with the bankside and everything, and then here you can see it opens up on both sides and you just seem to catch the light, and I think it's about as wide as the general canal gets on this bend. There's been some canal workers down recently. You can see all the lopping of the bottom of the trees. It's nice to see they're taking some care of the canal. It is a very small offshoot, so would be easily forgotten, I suppose. Apart from the noise of a tractor down in the fields, the only other noise is bird song. It's brilliant. Now today was supposed to be blue sky and sunshine. So you plan your working week around rushing out to do some videoing, some photography on a nice day, and then you wake up and it's thick fog. It's slowly burning off. I did need to get down here to do the video for the calendar picture. I remember filming March's picture down at the stepping stones and thinking to myself, I've got loads of time, and I haven't. a little context for you. We're just a couple of bends from the big wide corner. Just walk past that boat. And up here, over the last few years, there'd be foxes and fox cubs. Haven't seen anything today. And the sun's coming out. And look at that, isn't that pretty? I would love to be able to stand here for 20 minutes quietly and see if I could see some foxes for you, but wouldn't do me any good. There's a woman coming with a dog, and behind her I'm sure there's another one and another one and another one, and the fox cubs will all be well underground. We may even be a little early for them. So we carry on. I'm trialling a couple of new bits of equipment today. So the one you can't see is a selfie stick for the GoPro, which I think is making the framing a bit better. And the second one is this mount for the camera. It does mean all the weight's taken by the rucksack rather than hanging off a camera bag around my shoulder, but it is a bit in your face. So we'll just have to see how I go on with it. This is the site of the photo for this month. I'll spin the camera and you can have a proper look. Now it is mid-March at the moment and there are just a couple of flowers on that tree at them. So it's not in full bloom. Come this time next month and it should look beautiful. This has got to be one of the prettiest gardens on the whole canal. I've photographed it loads. I'll put some of the photos up in a minute. It is an absolutely lovely spot. And we'll carry on. Now a little story about the garden. Like I say, it's one of my favourite spots on the whole stretch of the canal. And it's absolutely gorgeous. And one day we're just walking through, me and Carolyn and the dogs, and this voice shouts us from across the canal, and it turns out to be a lady I worked with a few years ago, and it's her garden. So she quickly beckoned us across. I don't know how we got across. You can walk to the end of the canal there and then come back along the lane at the back, or you can maybe go over the bridge. I don't know if we went over the bridge or not. Don't know if there's access that way. Anyway, we got into the garden, which was really surreal because it's like being in a film set. We've always seen it but never been in it. And it was a lovely summer's day. So she went off and got a bottle of wine and we cracked it. And we sat there drinking, and then she had to pop back inside for something, so me and Carolyn sat there on the lawn drinking the wine, and some people come walking along the canal and stop and admire the garden, and one of them says, "Lovely garden," and we just sort of raised the wine glass. Well, thank you, living the dream. And they wandered on, and my friend came out and said, "I saw what you did then." It was nice for a few seconds. Now this is one of the most interesting boats on the canal. It's been here years and it's such a pity. Little pug. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but there's a little arch just underneath the middle fender, and that's a wheel arch. And the pug is, I don't know exactly what they would call it, a trailer boat. You just wheel it straight up off the slip. What a fantastic idea. You put a little outboard on the back. Job's a good one. That is the beauty of walking along the canal. That's about the 5th or 6th conversation I've had. We're just down here a lot, so we get to know a lot of people. So now I'm heading probably on the most interesting bit of the walk, so I'll flip the camera around again and let you have a look. So here, not that it looks much, is actually the aqueduct going over the railway, or the disused railway. Now this side's obviously not very good at the moment, and it's leaking like hell underneath, so a lot of work needed there. Nearly always boats moored here. I think it's a 48-hour mooring, and it's very close to the pub. I'll show you the pub in a second. Oh no, 24-hour mooring. Time enough to get yourself down the pub. And what a nice looking boat this is. That is very well cared for. Lovely. Right. So, like I say, interesting bit of the canal now. So, for starters, you've got some canal side cottages down there, and the pub, and the brook running underneath here. So there will be, just there, another aqueduct for the river. And then we've got, coming up, not the bridge, although the bridge is nice, is probably the most spectacular aqueduct on the Caldon Canal, which is the Hazelhurst Aqueduct. I'll put some photos up of that. And we are just heading over the top. Now, not a lot of people know, so even if you're a local watching this video, you might not know. I only found out a couple of years ago, and I've been along here decades. This is the Leek arm of the canal. Like I say, lovely bridge. So, that's the Leek arm of the canal, and that actually continues that way to some locks, and I always thought that that was where the Leek arm started. But originally, the main canal came across here, probably right through where that seat is, or maybe just the other side of it, and down a set of staircase locks which come out right down there, or used to. Now, I didn't know they existed until I watched a video by Foxes Afloat a few years ago, and they came down here. So that cottage probably was an old lockkeeper's cottage. And this is a right nice nasty bend. When the canal's busy, you can stand for hours and watch hire boaters bumping their way around that corner. And if two ever meet, one coming the other way, oh, it's chaos then. Another section of permanent moorings. A couple of years ago this was like a boat graveyard with two or three I think, old canal boats moored side by side just around this corner, all listing and rotting. Hello. But this has so improved it. And you see the hard stand up there for cars, for the owners. Yeah, here was 3 boats completely rotted away and they've all gone. Replaced by 2 or 3 really nice boats. That's really good to see. Old canoe rotting away there with a paddle. Wow. Oh dear. Bit of a doer-upper. Okay, well this is where I plan to sit. And as the wind seems to be coming from this direction, this bench should be in the shade of it. Right. I'll rest my weary legs. Not a bad view for a brew stop. That is a stunning spot for a coffee, well, a hot chocolate and Baileys. And that's all the noise I've heard, it's just birds. This is the new mount for the camera. I'm rather surprised. I had it off AliExpress and it's very, very solidly made. A little safety hook there, so the camera slides down, locks in, and then you have to press that to unlock it. That just fastens onto the strap. Very, very solidly made. Quite impressed with that. I've worn the camera on it for half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, and after the first couple of minutes of being a bit worried about the weight, it's been fine. My jewellery rigged fastening on the old camera care system bag, if I can get the camera out. I need to get that sorted out. And that's the plate on the back of the camera. So, I'm very impressed with that. It works very well. It has got an attachment so it can go on a belt, which might work better for certain things. So I'll leave all the expensive gear there and have a stroll. Yeah, so whatever helicopter it was has bypassed us. This is the footpath I was thinking of taking, if the day had turned out differently. And here's your canal junction. With your lockkeeper's cottage. And that arm of the canal to the left goes off to Etruria and Stoke, and the right heads off down to Console and Froggle, which is very pretty, and I'm sure I will do at some point. Quite a nice spot. Right. Now we could short circuit and just dip over that bridge and onto the other canal, but we're not going to. We're going to go over that absolutely gorgeous bridge there. And I might actually walk on a bit towards Endon. I do need to keep my steps up. Not the smoothest of styles. Right, time to throw the rucksack on and get out of here, I think. If only the canal went that far. So 9.5 miles to Trent and Mersey, or to Etruria. Leek 3 miles. Can't trust what they say on some of these. Froggle 7.5 miles. Utox is 20.5. The canal ends at Froggle. I don't know if it ever went as far as Utoxeter. Stunning bridge. So that route is out towards Endon, and then you get into the Potteries conurbation. Was thinking about strolling that way, but I don't think I can be bothered. And this way runs out towards Cheddleton first, and then, like I say, Console and Froggle. Very pretty. That was the plan. Start of the week I was really thinking I might stroll all the way out there and back, and then I remember just how muddy it gets. Must have been fun bringing your horse over that. So that's not a very high rail. Down there still, I don't know if I get up here, you can see, or you can't see, just through the trees, you might make out the railway. And here's that spectacular bridge. I've got some photos of this, I'll put those up. It's coming up for just short of 200 years old. That's brilliant. The paddle controls for... Oh, I don't know what they are. They are the paddle, must be the paddle controls to the lock. Might be wrong. No, the paddle controls are on that one. Don't know what they're for then. Morning. Here are the paddle controls for the lock. So at the moment this is full. So the last boat through obviously came from down there and then filled this lock up. There must be controls for the lock. They must open something up that end to let the water in when this is empty. Because these will let the water out. So what you do now is turn that with a great key, handle, winding handle thing. That will raise some gates, which are down there somewhere. And that will let the water flood out, dropping this to the level of that, which is quite a drop. And when they've equalised, you just lean on these. These aren't locked together, they're just held shut by the weight of the water. So once the water's gone, they'll open up. Now that's a bit of a step, let's go around. And that has a bit of worry. Sprung a leak. They're always leaking. You can see here, squirting around the edges of the door. Right. Well, we are now on the Caldon arm of the Caldon Canal. And just up there is the Leek arm, excuse me, hiccups. And another lock. And a canal work there. I've seen somebody from the Canals and River Trust walking along, wearing a life jacket, which looks a bit incongruous when you're just strolling along the canal. I'm presuming it's something they have to do. So for a very small canal, it's got a lot of interesting features. A lot of history. So, another lock. So they must open these gates to let water in when this is empty. Like I say, the last boat through must have come from Caldon, coming up the locks, because all the locks are full. Which would be a pain if the next boat is coming in the same direction, because they're going to have to empty each lock. Although if you're coming from Stoke this way, you basically got a free ride. You just go in and then undo them. Now this one's had a bit of work to it. You can see it's looking all gleaming. Those there are indicators, and as you wind the gate up, those white nodule things rise up so you can tell where the gate is. Yet another canal work boat. Not as big a step off this one. Like I said, they've been doing a lot of work along here. Just upkeep, cutting trees down and bushes, which is nice to see. Like I say, this one's leaking. Don't think any of those are formal spots for water to come out. I'm very interested on those steps though. I think I may well have to put you down and go and photograph those steps. I don't know if that'll turn out. I'll put them on the video if there's anything decent. Just caught my eye, quite a pretty little scene. Now these look quite new. Most of the canal working boats look a bit rough, to be honest, but that looks quite nice. A third lock and a bridge. Now, a couple of years ago, probably more than that now, this bridge collapsed, basically closing the canal and trapping quite a few boats in the Froggle, Console, Chelton area. And there's not much you can do. A ton of rubble in your canal. So these help you push the gates. Like I say, this one's full as well. And parking here for the permanent moorings. And then up there's the road gets up to the other permanent moorings up the top. And here's the new bridge. A few years ago, when they were building this bridge, this was just a massive construction site. And they got an emergency bridge built so that people could get up the other side and the farmer could get up there. Which was just a massive construction of scaffolding poles. But this is the new bridge. Nowhere near as pretty as the old one. It's not what it seems as well. I don't know if we can spot it, but yeah, those bricks aren't very thick. They're more like tiles over a massive concrete structure. Probably cheaper. The bridge that was here before was a lovely stone affair. Probably got a photo. I'll have a look. I'll have a look what the number is actually. Is there a bridge number on it? No, there isn't a bridge number on it. There should be a bridge number. Try the other side. Right. No bridge number. Well, Can't believe they've forgotten to put a bridge number on it. Here is the Hazelhurst Aqueduct. Got loads of photos of this, I'll post some while we're strolling around. But although that's quite interesting, and it is very interesting I suppose, have a look at this. Odd. Doesn't look much. Any clues? What have we got? We've got things that look suspiciously like they could be used as pulleys. An old oil drum filled with concrete attached to a wire rope. Two old oil drums actually, one behind, that then go up to get more pulleys probably up there. And then a similar setup just over there. Odd. But once upon a time, when you went into the pub, I don't know if they're still there, I can't remember seeing them. There were trophies for world champions tug of war team, and this is where they trained. Well, that's odd as well. That doesn't look like it's just found its way there by accident, hidden behind a tree. So yeah, world champion tug of war team trained there. And here we have the Hazelhurst Aqueduct looming. We walked over it earlier. It looks much more impressive from here. It's not even leaking that much. Bit of water. I'll have a look at it from this side. Isn't that stunning? Probably needs a paint job. Like I say, I've got some photos, I'll post some photos. Some nice steep stairs take you up to the top. But we're heading this way. Now earlier I said when we were at the top that there was a staircase of locks that ran from the other side of that cottage and down the slope to here. And we'll just have a look at where here is. So you can see here what was the original line of the canal. So from up on the top by that 90-degree bend would come down to here, and this little nub is all that's left of the very first build of the canal. I'll see if I can find some dates for you, and if future me wants to put a bit of voiceover on, he can. But yeah, so up there is the remains of some locks. Just splitting these two lovely cottages. One here and one up the top. That would have been a hell of a feature in its day. And here we have a nice little row of cottages. One of which my mum used to live in many years ago. And we've got a bridge with a number on. I can have a look at that bridge number and see what number the other bridge was and see if I've got a photograph of it. Okay. So here we have a nice row of cottages. I think my mum lived in the second one. And one's for sale at the moment. Number 3. Very interesting. I doubt it's open. It's not early. Too late. Or not early enough.
I remember that. I don't even know anybody called Molly. I think that's the sort of thing you used to be saying.
Some off-colour jokes from some cyclists, one of whom nearly ended up in the canal. I would have whipped around pretty quick with the camera if he has done, I tell you. So technically, well, I say technically the wheel would be our local, but they don't allow dogs. So this is our local. It's about 40 minutes walk from home. Fabulous pub. Many a happy afternoon sat out here. I don't think it's open. Shake the camera around while I look at my watch. 11:18. Could wait. Not worth it, probably. Get into too much trouble with the wife. Bridge 38. So that last one is either Bridge 39 or Bridge 37. Well, we've carried on well past the pub, under the bridge, under the road, and that bend there takes you towards Cheltenham Flint Mill. There are other videos that show that, and this is a route onto the old railway track, and there are videos that show this as well. I will try and put links up to both of them, and then you can tie them together if you want and see where all these places go. Now this track takes me along to the bridge that was in February's photo video, and again I'll try and link that video. Getting complicated, all of this, but I think I'm going to stop videoing before the battery dies on this. So, thank you for watching. It's not been the day I planned, but it's been nice enough. I've got 10,000 steps in, which is reasonable. This camera mount seems to be working. It's a little awkward and I put a bit of strain on my shoulder, but not as much as the camera bag. So we'll have to look at that and see how that goes. But yes, it's been an enjoyable stroll. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you for May's video. I don't know where this year's going, it's flying by. Bye bye.